Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back for day 14 of, is that correct? It is correct. Yeah, day 14 of the Tantric path in practice. Our orientation today is toward the sun, and we're going to move back toward one of the two aspects of sun practice. And when I say one of the two, that's fairly limiting because really the sun is so expansive itself that there are very many different ways that we can kind of pull out threads of what the sun gives us and focus on one of those. This methodology that was passed down to me gives us two focuses, and then we kind of go from there. Those two are expansion, which is our focus for today, and the other is dawning of higher awareness. So for expansion, I like to utilize predominantly backbends because backbends give us this very enlivening experience of ourself. We don't have to go into a very deep backbend to start accessing that. There's a cluster of nerves in the thoracic spine that once we give them a little bit of a squeeze and release, we're already there. So you don't need to push into something for physical expansion in order to experience energetic expansion, which is really what we're about. With that being said, I am going to take us into a fairly deep backbend, but it's optional. And I will give you some other options to work with as well. And hopefully, as we engage with preparatory postures leading up to that, you'll have a chance to get into an experience that can stay soft and effortless. And that softness and effortlessness ideally will allow you to focus more on what is happening energetically rather than what is happening physically, which might just be this feeling of intense stretch or even strain. So try to avoid physical intensity and instead lean into the sensation of expansion on an energetic level. I think that's about it. The other method that we will be weaving in, similar to what we did yesterday, but in the opposite direction, expanding inhale. So I'll give you an opportunity to gradually step the inhales up, and I'll also give you the opportunity to play with kind of a 1-to-2 ratio where the inhale will be twice the length of the exhale. When we're doing that, as much as possible, avoid being really strict with yourself and like adhering to an exact count, especially if what I'm cueing does not match what's happening in your body. Be soft with it, be intuitive with it, let the inhales expand in a way that feels nourishing, as opposed to something that's going to create more psychological constraint. Okay, now I'm done talking. We'll see how these boys respond to one another. I've realized that it's when I go onto my mat that Finney gets active because he's trying to protect me from Sawyer. So Sawyer comes running at me and then Finney goes, not today. Okay, but you're okay. I'm okay. You don't have to protect. I love you. Oh, just like that. Okay, boys. Let's not have this be your back over. Go ahead and come onto your backs. Knees bent. Feet on the floor. So the breath here is in its way, still diaphragmatic. And we're also adding a little bit of an element of the chest expanding, not just forward, but out to the side and into the back of the chest as well. So it's more of a full body breath. Just start to feel into that a little bit. And we'll start to add the arms. So we'll begin with a 5-count inhale, reaching the arms overhead, 4-count exhale to bring the arms back down. When you're reaching the arms overhead, allow for a little bit of lift and arching in the upper back. And as you bring the arms back down again, then draw the navel towards the spine and try to flatten the back against the mat. Beginning with a 5-count inhale. 4-count exhale. 6-count inhale. 7. 8. Good. Now give yourself a moment just to notice. Now moving into dynamic bridge, 8-count inhale, 4-count exhale. We'll do about 4 rounds. We'll lift the pelvis and the arms simultaneously. When you're ready. And then lift into your bridge a final time. 8-count inhale. On the exhale, just bring the arms down. And then either take a hold of the outer edges of the mat or bring the hands together underneath you and interlace the fingers. See if you can roll the fleshy part of the shoulder a little bit further underneath you. Feel the rib cage sway. More opportunity for expansion in and around the space of the heart. Roll the thighs internally, pressing down through the inner arch of both knees. Try to relax the glutes and press into the heels a bit more firmly to activate the inner thighs and hamstrings. And then draw the sternum a little bit closer to the roof of the mouth. 2 more breaths, 8-count inhale, 4-count exhale. And then release the hands, roll the spine back down, and again, just rest and notice. Windshield wiper the knees a couple of times, just to release any holding in the back or the hips. Your attempts to protect me often include stepping right on top of me. Go ahead and roll onto your belly. And we're going to create an opportunity here to expand into the chest a bit more. So on the belly, extend your left arm out to the left side. You can either keep the arm perfectly straight and set the palm down, or you can bend. I find that bending actually deepens the stretch a bit. So left arm out to the side. The elbow is going to extend straight out from the shoulder. Palm is facing down. Begin to roll onto your left side, but keep as much of the shoulder and arm on the ground as I like to bend the elbows and then rest the head down. Bend the knees as well. So what we're looking to stretch here when there's not a cat and a dog actively involved is the portion of the chest that connects to the arm, which is often quite tight because we walk around the world slouched forward. Keep adjusting. Stay soft. And stay conscious of the breath. One more breath here. And then ease out of it because that can be a pretty intense stretch. Let one cheek rest on the mat and let both arms move alongside the body for a moment. And then we'll take it to the other side. So right arm will extend out to the side. Arm can be straight or bent. Gently shift yourself onto your right side body. Once you get there, release the head back down, and then you can press into your left hand to support, stabilize, and maybe encourage a slightly deeper stretch. Again, I like to have the knees bent so I feel really secure. And then I can focus on the breath. See if it's possible to soften a little more. And then when you're ready, release. And again, rest one cheek on the mat, arms extended by your sides. Rest a moment. Good. And then when you're ready, make your way up to your hands and your knees. Take your time with it. And let's start to move through cow and cat. Inhaling to draw the collarbones forward, lifting crown and tail. And exhaling to round the spine, scoop the belly up and in, lift through the pelvic floor. Inhale, draw the heart forward, lifting crown and tail. Exhale, round the spine. Just 2 more like that. Inhale to draw the collarbones forward again. On the exhale, tuck the toes, hinge back and place the forearms and elbows on the ground. Keep drawing the shoulder blades down, pressing into all 10 fingers, keeping the forearms parallel to one another. So we're going to play with a dynamic dolphin. Inhaling here. On the exhale, float the hips up and back and draw the heart through the biceps and triceps. Inhale, lower the knees. Exhale, back to your dolphin. Inhale, lower the knees. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. So we'll stay for a few breaths. Play with extending the inhale so that it's twice the length of exhale. If you want to adjust the placement of the feet, if that's available, to add a little extra stretch, you're welcome to. One more breath, push the earth away from you. And then lower the knees. Rest back in child's pose for a moment, maybe bringing the hands back and stacking the hands on the sacrum, or just lightly taking a hold of one wrist. Let's bring the hands back out in front of us. Inhale, return to the hands and knees. And exhale, downward facing. Feel free to pedal the feet a couple of times, opening up a bit more through the hips and thighs and lower back. And then inhale, lift the heels, soften the knees, gaze toward the hands. Exhale, step lightly to the top. Inhale to lift halfway. And exhale, return back down. On the next inhale, let's rise all the way to standing. And exhale, release your arms by yourself. I'm going to take a moment here, and then we'll transition into some simple sun salutations, just to continue to open everything up in the body so you have access. Inhale, sweep the arms forward to come up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Maybe looking out in front of the body just a bit more. And then exhale, step to plank. Inhale to hinge forward. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift to the hands and knees. Exhale to child's pose. Inhale back to the hands and knees, up the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heels, soften the knees, look forward. Exhale, step to the top. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, reach for the sky. Exhale, arms by your side. One more, this time with an option to go into upward facing dog. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step to plank. Inhale, hinge forward. Exhale, lower to chaturanga or all the way. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heels, soften the knees, look toward the hands. Exhale, step to the top. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, reach for the sky. Exhale, release the arms by your sides. Enjoy another breath here. Good, now inhale, Utkatasana chair pose. Exhale, sweep the arms down and back, sink a little more deeply into the chair, but keep lifting through the sternum and collarbone. Inhale, sweep the arms forward. Exhale, swim the arms behind you, interlace the fingers, roll the triceps back. Bend the elbows and draw your knuckles in toward your sacrum. Keep drawing the shoulder blades down, collarbones up, lifting the chin slightly, but keeping the back of the neck long. Enjoy a few more breaths here. Lots of awareness around the space of the heart, generating an experience of expansion with each inhale. Just one more breath in. On an exhale, gently fold over the bent legs. Arms will stay bound for a moment. Press into both feet. Inhale, lift halfway and let the knuckles reach towards the sky. On the exhale, release all the way into your forward fold. Slide the left foot back for a lunge. Keep the heel off the ground so you're in a crescent. On an inhale, bend the back knee a bit to help you rise up. Exhale, straighten both legs, bring the arms down. Inhale, bend both knees, arms up. A little lift through the collarbones. Exhale, straighten the legs, arms down. Inhale, bend both knees, arms up. Exhale, straighten, arms down. One more time. Now inhale back into the lunge. On the exhale, try to draw the sit bones a little further under you. Activate your belly. Stretching into your left quadricep and hip flexor, all the way through the front side of the body. Good, then go ahead and lower the knee to the ground. Use your right hands for balance if you want to. Sink a little bit further forward. Good, keep lifting the sternum. Option, if the balance is there, Mobility is there. To bend the back knee and maybe reach the hands back to take a hold of the foot. Hug the heel toward the tush. Draw the shoulder blades into the back body. Keep lifting up through the heart. 8 count inhale, 4 count exhale. Gently release the back foot. I like to flex the foot as I lower it. Inhale, sweep the arms forward. Exhale, release all the way to chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Hang out in down dog for a few breaths. Regulate the breath. Regulate the nervous system. Release any tension or unsteadiness in the body. And then inhale, let's sweep the right leg up. Exhale, lunge the foot through. Inhale, float your left leg up and back behind you, let the hip open. Exhale, softly fold. Keep reaching up through the ball of the left foot. With each inhale, extending a little bit higher. With each exhale, holding a little more deeply over the right. 3 more breaths. On an exhale, release the left foot down next to the right. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come to your chair. Exhale, straighten the legs, arms by your sides. Take a moment. Perhaps feeling a sense of blossoming, spaciousness, vitality in and around the space of the heart. Let's do it all again. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, keep the arms down and back one time. Keep lifting. Inhale, draw the arms forward. Exhale, swing the arms behind the back, interlace the fingers, maybe opposite thumb on top, you can remember. Bend the elbows, draw your knuckles in. Keep anchoring the sit bones down, drawing the navel to the spine. So the back bend is coming in the thoracic spine more than the lumbar. A delicate lift of the chin, continuing to lengthen and strengthen the back of the neck. Another inhale. And on the exhale, gently fold forward, keeping the hands out. Press into both feet and inhale lift halfway. Reach the knuckles toward the sky. Exhale, softly fold, let the hands go. And then slide the right foot back for a crescent lunge onto the ass. Let's bend both knees, and on an inhale, lift the torso, lift the arms. Exhale, straighten both legs, pull the arms down by your side. 3 more times. Little bit of back bend, reaching upward through the collarbones. Exhale, release and strengthen through the inner thighs and pelvic floor. 2 more. Then come back into the lunge. On the exhale, try to sink the sits bones. Maximize the stretch to the right quadricep and hip flexor as you continue to stabilize through the core, through the pelvis. Creating lift. And then you're welcome to release the hands down for balance or just lower the right knee to the mat. Sink a little bit more deeply, but keep the lower back long. You can stay just like this for a few more breaths, or play with bending the back knee, bringing the hands behind you, taking a hold of the foot, and hugging your heel in toward your tush. Use the shoulder blades here to keep pressing the heart a little further forward and up. 8 count inhale, 4 count exhale. One more breath. On the exhale, flex the foot, hip lifted, release it down. And make your way all the way to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Linger here for a few breaths. Self-regulate. And on the next inhale, let's lift the left leg. Exhale, lunge the foot through. Shift your weight onto your left foot and inhale, reach your right. On the exhale, try to soften a little bit further over the standing leg. And we're here for a few more breaths. Continue to press upward through the ball of the foot. One more inhale. And on an exhale, release the right foot next to the left at the top of the mat. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to rise through chair. Exhale, straighten the legs. Arms by your sides, Tadasana. Just breathe, notice, feel. Maybe there's a sense of weightlessness, almost as though energy is beaming out from deep within you. Like the sun that shines from your own heart center is brighter than 10,000 of those suns in the sky. Last little standing sequence, let's keep it fairly light, and then we'll move into our peak experience for the day. On an inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step to plank. Inhale, hinge forward. Activate strength in the belly. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale and reach your right leg up. Let the hip open. Exhale, bend both knees. Roll your left heel down. Try not to go too far too fast into what you think is coming next. We're going to take our time. Getting a nice lateral stretch here. Roll the right knee up. Maybe lift the right hand. Find the lateral stretch here first, dipping the toes and fingertips. And then rebending the knee and lifting the arm. And then bring the right toes down behind you. Point the left toes back. Lift the pelvis and extend your right arm alongside your right ear. Maybe bend the elbow and try to bring your hand toward the back side of the heart and find a little bit more expansion. One more inhale. Exhale, soften. Release that right hip up and over, back to downward facing dog. Enjoy a breath. Inhale, sweep the left leg up. Exhale, open the hips and bend both knees. Roll your right heel onto the mat, off to the right side. And then shift weight into your right hand. Start to float your left hand and knee up toward the sky. The lateral first. Dip the toes, dip the fingers. Stretch into the side body. And then rebend the knee. Now toes come down behind you. Adjust the angle of the right foot to protect your ankle and knee. Lift up through the pelvis. Lift up through the heart center. If you can bend the elbow and bring your palm toward the back of the heart. One more in breath. Exhale, softly float that left hip up and over again. Return to downward facing dog. Inhale, lower the knees, come into cow. Exhale, gently round the spine. A couple more times like that. And then make your way to child's pose and rest for a moment. If possible, keep your thighs and shins parallel to one another. And in this position, 8 count inhale, 4 count exhale. On the exhale, squeeze the thighs together, draw the navel to the spine, lift the pelvic floor. On that 8 count inhale, just soften and expand. One more breath like that. On the next inhale, just sit back on the heels. And on the exhale, soften the shoulders, lengthen the spine, maybe close the eyes and just breathe. From here, if it's okay in your body, bring your feet a little bit further apart and see if you can sit more or less in between. This might be more than enough. We're trying to create a little bit more space in the quadriceps. Feel free to bring the hands behind you and then just gradually shift your weight back. Check in as you go. This might be plenty, it might be more than it. If you want to go further, then just keep bending the elbows, maybe coming on to the elbows or forearms. Keep the back of the neck supported. Keep the shoulder blades gently pressing into the back of the rib cage and breathing up into the collarbones. Good. This might be plenty. If you want to go a little bit further, then just start to come off of the forearms and elbows and see if you can lower all the way onto the bolster, pillow, blanket, or maybe the mat. If you're there, you're welcome to bring the arms overhead and hold on to your own elbows. 8 count inhale, 4 count exhale. One more breath like this. Now coming out of it just as cautiously and carefully as we came in. If the arms are overhead, bring them down, bend the elbows. Start to come up onto the elbows and forearms. Brace yourself. Pause. When it feels right, come onto the palms, keep the elbows bent. Gradually straighten them. Pause. Come up the rest of the way, root back down through the sits bones. Pause. And then use the hands to help lift the pelvis, coming forward. And then you can bring the legs out from under you and sweep them out. Let's straighten the legs for a moment and just give the legs a little bounce, shake, maybe rotate the sides in and out a few times. So now we're getting ourselves set up for our final big firework posture. You've done enough already. So if this feels like maybe not the best idea for whatever reason, then just skip it. Or you can watch from a teacher perspective, maybe just listen to some of the alignment cues, utilize it in the way that's going to be the most beneficial for you. Let's start by lying down and giving ourselves a chance to just acclimate. Nice neutral spine. So we'll talk ourselves into it first as we let the body get prepared. Feet are going to stay hip distance and parallel to the best of our ability. Now, if you know that your body is naturally a little bit more externally rotated, if the toes point open a bit, that's okay. But what we want to try to avoid is the knees slaying open, because that's going to put too much pressure on the lumbar spine. Continue to think of internal rotation, pressing the inner thighs and the insole of the foot down into the mat. Try not to overutilize the glutes because you might force yourself too far too fast into the posture. Instead, by pressing into your heels, you'll activate the hamstrings and inner thighs more, which are a little bit more subtle and nuanced. We're going to think about lifting the tailbone in the direction of the knees, and then starting to activate the belly to draw the sternum toward the roof of the mouth. From there, we'll engage the musculature in the arms and upper back, and start by just letting the neck lengthen. And we're not going to put any pressure on the top of the head, but we'll think about the top of the head just skimming the mat. That might be enough. It's going to be a lot on your muscles to stay bent like that. So it might feel good to straighten, but please straighten slowly so that you can feel into that point where you reach your maximum for the day. Linger for just a moment and come back out of it. Or if it feels really spacious and expansive, stay for a few breaths. The invitation is there to breathe in for 8, out for 4. But if you are just focused on maintaining the posture, no need to introduce that breath. Okay, I've talked enough. I think we're ready. Draw the shoulder blades a little further down the back. Press into the feet. Already start to activate the core and lengthen the lumbar spine. We'll bend the elbows, bringing the hands down more or less alongside the ears. I always try to make sure I'm not putting my hands on my own hair because that disrupts things a bit. Pressing into the heels, starting to float the tailbone up. Check to see if you are maximizing your glutes and try to release a little bit. When you feel stable here, you can start to press down through the hands, skimming the top of the head, and then going toward. Keep rolling the thighs inward, pushing the earth gently but firmly away from you. Just 3 more breaths. If you need to come out before, come out before. On an exhale, bend the elbows, bring the back of the head down, stay active until you're able to fully release the weight of the body into the support of the earth. Keep the knees bent and just notice. Bring the arms out of the way of the knees and then gently windshield wiper. And when you've gone to both sides equally, just bring the knees back up through to the center. Keep the back long so we're not lifting the tailbone or sits bone, and just begin to draw your thighs in. So not a deep forward fold here, aside from the thighs coming a little bit further into the belly. You can stay like this, or if you're able to come into happy baby, again, without lifting the shoulders or the pelvis, go ahead and find happy baby and use the leverage here to continue to press the back body flat into the mat. Pressing the shoulder blades, the back of the head, and the pelvis and sacrum down, lengthening. You can either hold on to the feet, the ankles, calves, or the backs of the thighs. If it feels good in your body, you're welcome to rock gently. And go ahead and release your happy baby. Bring the thighs back in. Let's set just the left foot down for a moment. Hug the right thigh in. Feel free to extend the left leg onto the floor. Soften wherever any resistance might be expressing. Right, and then moving into a twist. Don't go too far too fast with this. Shift the pelvis a little bit further to the right. Place the sole of the right foot on top of the left thigh, and then stabilize by bringing the arms out to the side like full post or cactus. Inhale here to prepare. And on an exhale, gently rotate the pelvis to the left. Inhale to come back up through the center. Exhale back into the twist. And one more time. Inhale, center. So just easing the lower back. Exhale back into the twist. Stay for one extra breath. And then inhale the knee back up. Set the foot down, and on an exhale, bring the pelvis back into neutral. And extend both legs for Shavasana just for a few breaths before we twist to the other side. Hug the left side in. A few breaths here just to soften and release a bit more. And then you can set the foot down and shift the pelvis in 2 to 3 inches to the left. Place the sole of the foot now on top of the right thigh. Arms out to the side. creating stability. Easing in and out of this twist. Inhale to prepare. Exhale into the twist. Inhale back through to the center. Exhale, twist. And then one more time. Inhale, lift up through the center. Exhale, twist. And we'll just linger here for one additional breath. And then inhale, lift the knee. Set the foot down. Exhale, bring the pelvis back to neutral. Shavasana again for a few breaths before one last posture to bring the body back into center. Last posture before really releasing into Shavasana. Bend the knees and then extend the legs up toward the sky. Let the pelvis be quite heavy so the knees are soft. Arms can extend up as well. Let's rotate both the wrists and the ankles. Other direction. Linger for just a few more breaths. Guiding blood and energy from the extremities back into the torso, where we can utilize it for meditation. Soften the joints and melt your way into our final resting place. So if you are concluding with asana, please stay for at least 10 breaths, just with a sense of warmth and spaciousness in and around the heart. If you are transitioning into we rise, give yourself a few more minutes and then very gently click over to the next. Either way, thank you so much for being here. See you tomorrow for some fire.